Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're tackling a process that is absolutely crucial for the health and financial security of thousands of families all across Kansas, and that is navigating the ConCare Medicaid online renewal process. If you or your loved ones rely on ConCare, getting this right isn't just a matter of checking boxes on some paperwork. It's literally the key to maintaining your uninterrupted access to doctors, prescriptions, and just, essential medical care. So we're going to break this down into really clear, manageable steps using the state's online portal. Okay, let's dive into this. Do you realize that your family's healthcare could be at risk simply because a single piece of mail was overlooked? It's kind of a startling reality, honestly. A lot of people just assume that once they're approved for Medicaid, they're set for life. But that is simply not how the system operates. Your coverage is not permanent without your active participation.
And here is the harsh reality. You can experience what the state calls a procedural disenrollment. Basically, this means your CanCare coverage can be completely terminated, even if your income hasn't changed at all and you are still perfectly eligible. Just throwing away a renewal packet because you mistook it for junk mail or missing a deadline to click submit online is enough to pull the plug on your coverage. The state closes your case over the paperwork, not your actual eligibility.
But don't worry, we've got a solid roadmap to keep you in control today. We'll cover 1. Intro and prep steps. 2. Accessing the online portal. 3. Navigating the renewal process. 4. Post-submission actions. 5. Some great tips and best practices. And 6. Our conclusion and disclaimer. All right, Section 1, Intro and Prep Steps. Let's get everything together. So why does this even happen every year? Well, the CanCare annual renewal is a federally required process. By law, the state of Kansas has to redetermine your Medicaid eligibility every 12 months. Now, sometimes the state can automatically renew you by checking federal and state databases for things like your income. They call that an ex parte renewal. But when they don't have enough data to do that automatically, they require you to manually complete the renewal. And that manual cycle is exactly what we're preparing for today. Go ahead and mentally screenshot this slide right now. Having these 3 buckets of information ready before you start will drastically lower your stress once you log in. You're going to need your household's social security numbers and dates of birth. You need recent proof of income, so things like pay stubs or tax records. And this is a big one. You need your current case number. You can find that printed right on the upper right corner of any official mail you've gotten from CanCare. Seriously, just have all this sitting on the desk next to you. Moving right along to Section 2, Accessing the online portal. And this brilliantly illustrates a major stumbling block for total beginners. Listen, just creating a username and password on the state's website does not automatically show you your Medicaid file. You actually have to manually link your new account to your real medical case. You do this through a 3-step case association sequence. Step 1, you log in. Step 2, you click the specific link that says Request Case Access. And Step 3, you type in that exact case number we just found on your official mail. Until you complete those steps, the system literally has no idea who you are. Okay, you're logged in. Section 3, Navigating the Renewal Process. Let's walk through it. Once you're inside, you might wonder why the portal suddenly starts asking for a bunch of financial documents. Well, it all comes down to how Kansas divides Medicaid. If you're a parent or a child, you likely fall under MAGI rules, which means they only look at your income. But if you're elderly, blind, disabled, or receiving long-term care, you face an asset test, which is usually capped at around $2,000. This is exactly why the online portal might suddenly demand you upload recent bank and retirement records. So you've answered your specific questions, and now you're looking for a specific button. Under the Access My CanCare drop-down menu, you need to click Complete a CanCare Review. Now, here is a critical note. That hyperlink only appears when the state has officially opened your renewal window. If you don't see it there, it's just not time yet. But once you do click it and you've reviewed your pre-populated data, do not forget to electronically sign the form at the very end. If you leave it unsigned, it's treated as incomplete and your coverage is going to drop anyway. Section 4, Post-Submission Actions. Let's talk about what happens next. So the crucial point here is the number 90. Let's say life got in the way, you ignored the mail, and your coverage was terminated for not submitting the paperwork. You actually have a massive safety net. Federal law mandates a 90-day reconsideration window. This means if you submit your completed renewal form within 90 days of your coverage closing, the state absolutely must reconsider your eligibility using that form. They cannot force you to start a brand new application from scratch. And during that reconsideration process, you might encounter this very specific, very important question on the portal. It asks, do you need help paying medical bills from the last 3 months? If your coverage dropped and you had to go to the doctor and you racked up bills during that gap, you absolutely must answer yes to this question. It is literally the only way to flag the CanCare system to potentially backdate your coverage and absorb those out-of-pocket costs, assuming you're deemed eligible, of course. All right, Section 5, tips and best practices to keep things running smoothly year-round. Let's rapid-fire these because they're real game changers. First, update your address immediately if you move. If CanCare's mail goes to your old apartment, you're not going to know it's time to renew. You can easily do this by visiting the CanCare website and using the Kira chatbot. It's this little red bubble in the bottom right corner, and it can update your address in seconds. Next, set calendar reminders for your renewal month so you're never caught off guard. And finally, open every single piece of mail from KDHE or CanCare the very day you get it. Never, ever assume it's junk mail. Wrapping things up. Section 6, Conclusion and Disclaimer. This quote straight from the source material really hits the nail on the head. Submitting renewals on time and keeping contact information updated is the best way to mitigate any potential gap in coverage. Ultimately, you hold the keys to keeping your family insured. The system relies entirely on your active participation. By keeping your data fresh and treating that renewal packet like a highly time-sensitive priority, you secure your family's peace of mind. And please, consider sharing this explainer with others in your community who might really benefit from knowing this stuff. And finally, our standard disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only. It's not intended as legal or professional advice. Look, everyone's case is totally unique. So if you have specific, personal questions, just call the CanCare Clearinghouse directly at 1-800-792-4884. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to leave you with this one vital question to answer right now. If a renewal packet was mailed to you today, would it actually reach your front door?